What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. Today I'll be going over some tips, tricks, and glitches to this week's Master and Grandmaster Nightfall, the Proving Grounds. This marks the first week that Grandmaster Nightfalls are available this season, and whether you're attempting it solo or with a team, by completing this week's Nightfall on Grandmaster, not only will you be a step closer to unlocking the Conqueror seal, but you'll also have a chance at getting the Adept version of the Silicon Neuroma Sniper Rifle. Completing the Proving Grounds on Grandmaster difficulty is nothing to slouch on, so we'll also be covering the best loadouts and builds that you want to consider suiting up with. So let's take a look at what workarounds you'll be able to use this week for the Proving Grounds. Before we get started, if you enjoyed today's video and find it helpful, then please be sure to help support the channel below by hitting that like button along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated. This week's Grandmaster will exclusively feature Cabal with Unstoppable and Anti-Barrier champions. You'll mostly be facing off against Solar and Arc shields, but there are a few Void shields, including the Interceptors. As far as preferred builds for this Grandmaster, Warlocks will need either Well or Stasis with turrets. Hunters will definitely want to use Night Stalker with the Omni Oculus exotic chest piece for the invisibility and resist buffs. Titans have the most wiggle room here. You can go Stasis, Void, and Solar build. All are exceptionally strong with this Nightfall. When it comes to weapons, the go-to exotics are going to be the Arbalest or the Skyburner's Oath. I prefer the Skyburners as it will allow us to penetrate the shields that the bosses use. It really makes things a lot easier in that regard and will ultimately save you a lot of lives. The Cataclysmic or Storm Chaser linear fusion rifles should be the heavies of choice unless you're rocking out a galley loadout. When this strike begins, you want to skip the opening area by staying to the far left wall. This will despawn the Vex and force the champions to come closer to where you'll be. Watch out for the Cabal turrets along the way and make your way to the far back left area. From here, you can pick off the incoming adds and champions along with the boss with the safety of cover. This is where having the Skyburner's Oath will come in handy, as you'll be able to bring the boss's shield down without having to step within it. With or without the Skyburners, you can also take advantage of the boss's lack of a stomp mechanic. So if you can get close enough without being taken down by his rockets, you can stand toe-to-toe with the boss and not even take any damage. Once you've gotten through this opening phase, you'll be heading to the vehicle bay. This phase can be especially difficult, so it's important that you and your team remain at the top. Pick off as many adds and the 2 interceptors before you even consider jumping down, because otherwise you're in for a world of hurt, and if in Grandmaster you're going to go to orbit if you wipe. Once you do drop down, you want to bounce between the barriers on the far left and the far right of the room. Be sure to pick off the Scion snipers in the far corners, otherwise they'll make quick work of you. Rotating your wells, tethers, bubble, and stasis turrets while sticking to the cover of these barriers will be in your best interest to make it through this encounter. If you can manage to keep any of the interceptors functional, they can be used to ram not only the champions and mini-bosses for insta-kills, but they can also be used to one-shot the tanks when they spawn in. This is a risky move, but can pay off big time if you can pull it off. I would leave it up to invisible hunters, honestly, if you're doing this in Grandmaster. Otherwise, Arbalest and heavy linears can make quick work of the tanks while you keep behind the barriers. Don't stand too close to the back wall while you're here, because the area of effect damage from the tanks will still impact you and engulf you in damage. Making your way through the next phase of the strike will be a cakewalk once getting through the vehicle bay. Your next big challenge comes in the final boss room. Having the Skyburner's Oath will be an immense asset, as we've already discussed, as you'll be able to easily take down the boss's shield every time he pops it up. I find it best when this encounter begins to position yourself back at the boss's podium so that you can utilize the tunnel way to avoid any incoming fire from adds or the mortar blasts from the boss. You can even stand inside the tunnel along the edge to get out of harm's way and regain health at any point. Just watch out for standing on the coals themselves when they are flaming. Unless you have solar resist on, it'll only take a second to melt, so you need to make sure you stay to the left or right panels to the edge while in the tunnel. When the boss sets up a shield on top of the podium, you'll need to relocate to the opposite side of the map. This is where you'll need to use the barriers for cover, and ultimately Skyburners is going to be the best bet here, because even from afar you can take down the boss's shield without having to actually step into it. If you're without the Skyburners though, you'll want to keep the transistor between you and the boss as you destroy it, otherwise the boss will instantly melt you. This boss does have a nasty stomp mechanic as well, so keep that in mind if you're leaping up to his podium. You don't have to be in a rush with this encounter. Playing it slow and smart will pay off, but you will need to be mindful of the boss's mortar blasts during this entire encounter, which is why utilizing the tunnel beneath the podium will be the crucial point in completing this strike on Master or on Grandmaster, and whether you're doing it solo or in a team. If you can pull off the victory though this week, you'll be rewarded with double rewards all week long, and for completing it on Grandmaster, you'll get the Adept Silicon Neuroma Sniper Rifle, along with pretty much guaranteed Ascendant Shards. I wish you all the best and luck this week. Let me know how your runs are going in the comments below, and what rolls you're getting on those Neuroma Sniper Rifles. Hope you've enjoyed today's video and found it helpful. If so, then please be sure to help support the channel below by hitting that like button along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated and really do help support the channel. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you some happy hunting.